Hi, in this video for Fusion for Beginners, we're going to work with primitive shapes and we're going to look at how to combine them. We're going to add two shapes so that they're in the same body, and there's two ways to do it that I use. One of them is to draw directly onto a different primitive, and one of them is to use the combine command, which is under the modify menu. This video will focus on the one-step method of creating a primitive shape onto another primitive shape. So as you hopefully know, the primitive shapes are here. I'm going to draw a box, and when you choose a primitive shape to use, the first thing Fusion wants to know is where you want to draw it. Typically we choose one of these planes, but this choice is also something that helps us combine shapes once we have an existing shape. So I'll go ahead and click here to draw on the floor, and I'm going to draw from the origin and click to here, and then I will pull this up, and I actually have a perfect cube because I've used the same dimension on each axis. So I have my cube, and if I want to draw something else, and you can see when you finish drawing a primitive, it gets shown over here as a body. I'm going to rename this just so we can keep track of things. So I'll call that cube. And let's say I want a cylinder sticking up out of it, and I only want to have one body when I'm done. Well, you can do this as a one-step process by going to Create and Cylinder, and instead of picking a plane, you can actually choose the face of an existing shape as long as it has flat faces. So I'm going to go ahead and click the top of my shape, and now it's ready to draw the base of the cylinder. And actually, I'm going to switch the top perspective, because if you move your mouse around, you can see it knows where it is in terms of like whether it's at the center or whatever. And the grid lines underneath it help too. But if I click right here, it shows you that I'm in the center. So if that matters, it's nice that it will snap to those locations. So I click that. I can select the base of my cylinder. I'm going to go back to the home view and then zoom out a little bit. And then I can pull that out, and I want to show you something. So normally I'm ready to finish this cylinder, and I can either click OK or hit enter on the enter key. And I want to show you that right now I still have my cube body, and usually when we create a second primitive, once we click OK or hit enter, we'll see our newest body there. But watch what happens when I click OK. I got my second body, but it's looped in with the original cube. So it's nice that you can create a primitive to be part of another primitive by drawing from one of the faces. I have another video to show you a different method, especially to use if you need to add something to another object that doesn't have a flat face. But that's a pretty simple one click. Well, a few clicks, but it's one click to get you to draw on the face of another object. So hope that helped.